I don't have enough time to describe him. There were so many aspects to him. He was a young man raised on the farm.
Dallas was born in a place called Buffalo, Missouri, small town, about an hour's drive from Plato. Now that's interesting to me because he was he was a scholar of Plato. He's born close to this little town of 109 people. Plato is the population center of the U.S., and I think that becomes important. Dallas is kind of an everyman type person. I mean, he's from the center of the country. He was born in poverty. He was born in the middle of the Depression, and so he grew up on farms where they literally scratched out a living from some stubborn soil, and that was important. And his work ethic, he was a hard worker.
When he was young, and he would go in the summer on field trips to harvest crops around the state of Missouri and in Kansas, he'd be gone for 2 weeks with a crew that was going to harvest corn or whatever it might be. He would take the Bible and Plato with him. And he nurtured himself on the scriptures, but he found reading Plato raised questions and helped him to think better.
Also, as a playful guy, when I met him, he would go around Temple College with his shirt tail out, wearing a dress shirt with the shirt tail out, which mortified me. Or he would wear a thin nylon shirt, which was the style in those days, with no undershirt. And he would wear dress shoes with, with no socks, which I thought he was doing as a rebel, but it turns out that later, much later, I discovered that he just was saving money on socks because it was poverty.
Pain. I think a central thing in Dallas's life is pain. His mother died before he had a visual memory or image of her. At her wake, he tried to crawl into the casket. Then, a little bit later, his dad remarries, and his stepmom, let's just say, seems to be from east of Eden. She got rid of all the kids, and so Dallas grows up, and through his childhood, he's with a different caretaker almost every year, back and forth. I mean, he writes out of pain, and I think people can identify that. You don't see that later in his life, but early on, there's this kind of deep fear of rejection, abandonment.
He had wonderful voice, and in fact, won the vocal contest the year after we married at Temple. The fellow that was in the performing before him had played a guitar, and it was just kind of homespun, and people might have been looking down on it, but when Dallas got up to sing following him, Dallas put everybody at ease. He said, I'd give a piece of my arm if I could play a guitar like that. And the house roared, and everybody was at ease from then on. And then he sang, "Sometimes I Feel Like a Motherless Child."
Yeah, that's a very good question as far as how did the loss of a mother, how did some of the pain in his childhood affect him? That's hard to answer. I think it created a longing that I think it created a desire to believe that there is stability, there is a God of love who won't leave you, who won't ever leave you.